Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk to you a little about solo practice and practicing at home on your own, because that can be a big deal for students. So for me, I was in a lot of pain when I started doing Qigong, and remember I had gone to Malaysia to learn how to do it. I was only there for 3 days and my biggest fear was that I'd forget it when I got home. Luckily that didn't happen, but because of the pain it was actually much easier for me to stay practicing, because every time I did it I felt better. I felt better with regards to the pain, but I also felt better emotionally. So that was a good driving force for me to stay practicing. Plus I had gone all the way to Malaysia to train, and I had spent quite a lot of money, so over €2,500 between flights and accommodation and the course itself. So that was another good driving force for me to stay practicing. But here are a few tips for you if you are solo and if you're at home practicing on your own and sometimes you lose motivation. So I would say the first thing for you is know why you're practicing. Why did you start practicing Qigong? If it was for an illness, maybe give yourself a number between 1 and 10 as to where your illness is when you start. So we'll say you have diabetes. So give yourself a 10. And you want to work down to 0 where the diabetes is gone. So every so often, maybe every 3 weeks, every month or so, check what that number is. The number should be coming down, and at least over 6 months you should be down to a 3 or a 2 or even maybe 0. Often it can take 6 to 9 months to overcome something if you've been a really good student and practiced well every day. Not just practicing mindlessly. You need to practice Qigong properly, the way you were taught. So that's one good way of doing it. Just check, then you'll know whether your Qigong is working or not, and it will give you the motivation to stay practicing as well. Plus check yourself emotionally. Often it can take the physical problems a bit longer, but if emotionally you start to lift, your mood starts to lift, you feel less stressed, of course it's working for you then. You feel more a connection maybe to a higher power, all of those kind of things. Remember the benefits: good health, vitality, so you have more energy, mental clarity, your mind is clearer, spiritual joy, so you feel more peaceful and happy. And check those things maybe once a month or once every 6 weeks. The second one I'd say to you is get into a good routine. Include your Qigong every whole day, but every whole day around the same time. So if you're practicing in the morning, do it around the same time every morning. If you're practicing at night, do it around the same time every night. So your body and your energy gets used to doing this at the same time every single day. For me, I used to practice, because I wasn't working, I was able to practice around 10 a.m. in the morning, and I always did it at nighttime at 12. More because I was living at home and the house was quite noisy, at home in my mum and dad's house. The house was noisy up to about 12 o'clock. So once the house settled and everyone was in bed, I would do my Qigong then. That may not be possible for everyone, especially if you're up early in the morning. So find a time that's good for you and a time you're not interrupted. 3, very important, stay connected to your Sifu. That is just so important. I don't think students realize how important that is. Stay connected to your Sifu. So in my case, as a Sifu, I run Zoom classes, every 6 weeks or so. So even if you have done the beginners, There's no harm in coming in and doing another beginner's course, even for one session. And especially if you find your motivation is flailing a little bit, come in and just do even one session with a group, and it'll get you back into the practice again. Amazing how many students don't do that. Let go of your ego that you're not a beginner anymore. You know, you still need the help, so come in and get it. That's the cheapest way to do it. You can always do a Zoom session one-to-one with me, which would be a little bit more expensive, but you're talking about your health. So there's nothing more important. For me, I used to stay in contact with Sifu, and I would write to him maybe every 3 months or so and just tell him how I was getting on, and he would always send me back really good emails on how to improve even on that. So stay connected to your Sifu. When I was training, remember I trained for 20 years with the Sifu I had, and I would meet him 4 or 5 times a year in different countries. I made the effort. I really made an effort to travel. Sometimes it had to be to Malaysia, more times somewhere in Europe. But I made the effort to stay in contact with my Sifu. So if things now have changed so much with Zoom and with the internet. It is so easy, so much easier to stay in contact with your teacher. That's for any one of you who you may not be my student, you may be a student of somebody else. Please stay in contact with them. That heart-to-heart transmission is between you and them. So seek them out. But for me, when I would go into a class, even whatever, I might have been training for 16 years, and I would still do a beginner's course. And I always went in with the mindset of a beginner. You have to let that ego go and just pretend you're a beginner again, and you will learn so much, because Qigong is so layered. It's layered and layered and layered. And as Sifus, we teach at a multi-level. So we can teach the beginners and a senior in the same class. They both get what they need from that situation. So yeah, stay connected to your Sifu. Stay connected maybe with somebody who you did Qigong with in the group where you learned. So if somebody you connected with, stay connected to them. Maybe email them every now and again, or text them, or meet up for a practice session. But if you're meeting up for a practice session, there's no boss, okay? Nobody takes over that session. You just meet up and you both practice whatever you want to practice. It can be 2 different things. Just do your exercise, relax, your exercise, your chi flow. Enjoy the session, have a chat, have a coffee, and go home. You don't have to make it a big deal, and please don't make one person the boss in that situation, because you both want to do what you want to do, but you just like having the company of doing it with other people. Another way to stay motivated is maybe have a calendar, you know, with the little squares, so each day on a square, and get a little star. Give yourself a gold star every time you practice. That is a really good way to stay motivated, because you will miss, if you see a day without a star, it won't make you feel so good, and you'll be more motivated to. It's like a little children's thing, but it works for us too. There's a little child inside all of us that likes to see our progress and to see ourselves with another star. So get little gold stars and place it on the day, the square, when you've practiced, and congratulate yourself afterwards. So I hope this was helpful. There's many more, and I'll do another video on other ones later on, but for now, just, you know, take note of those. Reach out to me if you need help. I'm always available. You can text me or email me, whatever way you want to contact me, and I'll always be there to help you. You're my baby if you've trained with me. That's what a Sifu is. A Sifu is your teacher, mother, father figure. There's a heart transmission after going through. So we love to take care of our students and to see them become the best possible person that they can be. So reach out. Alright, so now if you like it, hit that like button. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. Have a beautiful week of sudden joys and many, many blessings to you all. Shaolin greetings.